So we have a new Naya commander. And wow, I really like this one. 1 white, 1 green, 1 red for a legendary creature Rabbit Warrior for free. We need more rabbits in this game. I'm happy. It comes with 3 different abilities. Number 1, tap to untap tokens you control, add 1 mana of any color. Tap 3 untapped tokens you control, draw a card. Now it's getting really good. So far we have mana production and card draw all in the same commander. The last ability is actually the weakest one, but still kinda cute to have it. Tap 4 untapped tokens you control, put 3 +1/+1 counters on this creature, it gains trample until the end of turn. So first and foremost, the 2 first abilities already amazing. Let's actually just mention this first and foremost. The last ability will be okay, because sometimes you're getting into strange games where you can't win because there's someone across the table that is just a stacks player making it impossible. But player removal is the best removal, and you can literally go Voltron with this thing. Now this is not going to be a cEDH Voltron commander, obviously, because Voltron is not a cEDH thing, but there's nothing wrong with just having it as a backup plan D plan. So yeah, you have Voltron as a bonus concept. But the number 1 big reason to play this is because it's generating mana and card draw all from the command zone. Whenever you have a very low CMC cost commander with many color identities to it, 3 in this case, and a free CMC mana is quite okay. You can get this into play like turn 2 quite efficiently with a mana dork on turn 1. And from that on point forward, you can just get going. And here's the crazy part, it doesn't really specify what kinds of tokens. For example, the most popular tokens are treasures, because you can sacrifice them for mana. But in this case, you could just have food tokens instead, and they will be equally good and fine. In other words, when you're evaluating cards to include inside this commander, you're basically looking at what is going to generate the most amount of tokens with the fewest amount of mana spent. Because once again, you don't really care what kind of tokens they are. Now it is recommended that they are creature tokens because of 2 simple reasons. 1, you're not feeding Dockside, and 2nd, you're easier going to combo off with those. If you have exactly 12 tokens, or well, yes, you can reduce a few of those and replace them with mana dorks, but let's say you have 12 tokens. You're producing 6 mana with this, quite expensive. You're using 5 of that into aggravated assault, untapping all of your tokens, all of your creatures, all of your mana dorks, but with this you can generate infinite mana. And with infinite mana and infinite untaps on your creatures, you also have with this infinite card draw. Now I actually have a confession to make. Now when I'm looking at this and just theorizing on the different potentials, I honestly don't know exactly how good it's going to be, because of a very simple reason. If I repeat myself to what I said previously in this video, we're going to evaluate this in regards to how many tokens can you produce for the lowest amount of mana spent, so to say. And I simply don't have the answer to what cards those are. Because now we need to take into consideration of every kind of token regardless of what kind of token there is. So suddenly a card that is producing food tokens or 1/1 white creature token soldiers are equally really good. And that means that we're opening up or making a lot of casual cards into cEDH viable. And we haven't considered those before, but now we need to do that. So first and foremost, that's great. If we have something that is making a lot of casual cards into cEDH viable, that's perfect. We're increasing diversity inside this format. But it will demand research and time until we've kinda skewered the entire cEDH database for all available options and come to some kind of figuration of sorts. So as a finalized review, I think this commander is going to struggle in the early stages. And one thing that I like doing in these kinds of videos is bet on its starting position win rate. And I'm going to say that I think this is going to hit something like 17 to 19% win rate. The reason I'm betting on 17 to 19 win rate is because I don't think people are going to have a perfect picture of exactly how this deck should look like when they are initially starting to play it and bringing it to some tournaments. But then over time I think the win rate is going to climb. Not only because we're going to see more tokens in the future and better cards, like power creep is a thing, we're going to see stronger cards producing more token counts. So obviously this commander has a lot of growing potential, like the concept here is amazing. Tokens, you're golden. But over time, I also think that people are going to understand the concept and how to execute and play this better as well. Because another thing I think is important to point out here too is that it doesn't have a clear combo concept going forward for it. I mean, aggravated assault is one thing that I just shot out of my mind here, but I could see some breach strategies forming a good concept as well, potentially. And over time, as people have been starting to experiment with this commander more, figuring out good combos for it, I think that the win rate is going to climb to something like 23%. That's my guess. I have to say, I absolutely love this commander, and I definitely think this is something I'm going to brew myself and probably play a game or two on my gameplay channel with it. It's a very open and perfect commander where you can actually tweak it to solve different things depending on what kind of metagame and concept you're trying to shoot for. At this moment it's a little bit hard to say in stone exactly how I think it should look like, but regardless, thank you so much for watching and I hope you enjoyed the video. Take care guys, and I'll see you in the next one.